And we are live. Yes, we are live.
Definitely.
Are you sure?
We are
100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your sets or your computer or your iPhone or wherever whatever.
Because we're live. We're live.
Because we are live.
We're live.
And we are all in the studio for the first time ever.
We're 2 minutes late as well. That's
We're
not
2
like
minutes
us.
late. And just as I was saying that we're never late, it's usually the lads on a Monday who are late, but maybe it's
catching.
It's catching. It's bad. Like, it's bad. So, welcome to ExtraTyne on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. And as you can see, we're all here. So, I'm joined by Raza. Good evening, Raza. How are you doing?
Good evening. Top. Yourself?
Not bad. Nobody ever asks me how I am.
Well, you know, it's just
What
nice.
an absolute cheek, yes I do.
Oh, yeah, you do that. Okay.
It's just nice to be.
It's nice to be nice.
How are
isn't
you?
it?
Laura? You all right?
Yes, I'm fine, thanks, Raza. No one asks me that
How are you?
either.
I'm great.
Champion.
Just happy to be here.
Not all
Yes.
about Roger, you know.
And it's all about Laura. that's generally the feeling, isn't it? Like, it is.
Why not?
You know. So it has been an eventful week. We haven't had a game for, it seems like, ages. 2 weeks and a few days.
Oh, I did.
Since a really great result against Leeds, but now all eyes are faced and looking at Everton on Tuesday night. But loads to get through because there has been some eventful moments. Obviously, we've had our trip away to Saudi and Kieran Clark throwing out twisty ones right, left, and centre. And an excellent 2-1 win. Can we put that on the run? Does that count as
It's a win, isn't it? Where
It's momentum.
Builds confidence.
does that count on the form
unbeaten in
table?
2 now.
Mhm.
Unbeaten in 2.
Yeah.
Huh? No, we're on a 2-week winning streak.
Well, there you are.
2-game winning streak. So I
Wow.
think that's
Flying.
pretty good. Obviously, we've had the transfers, and we'll discuss what we made of the transfers. But of course, as always, try and get involved in the comments online, and of course on Twitter as well. We will be going and opening our Hall of Fame again, and this week, after the controversy last week, we're going to make sure we cover as many people as possible. And we made sure that Laura had a very clear list of.
Did we?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I'll hold it in a later.
Oh dear, I forgot. Is there a thunder coming?
That rest,
Oh,
maybe.
Jesus. Right. Okay. So, well, there's
Becoming a regular occurrence.
yeah, there's something to
Aye.
look forward to, isn't it? So, yes, so we're going to open up the Hall of Fame, and this week we are talking about hard men. So we've all chosen a player who's hard as coffin nails, in our opinion, and we're going to debate who is our person, and then we're going to throw it out to Toon Pools and anybody else on Twitter who wants to get involved, and obviously in the comments as well. What you make of ours, you can rate or slate them if you want, and then please add yours in. I've already had a couple. Kilclane's had a few honourable mentions. So he's obviously one that's high up there. So we'll come into the Hall of Fame towards the end. But we've got the squad emissions. We've got the Everton game again to talk about. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk. I mean, Raza's been at Newcastle Airport all day today, waiting for the private jet to come in. And he had a view of Bruno's loafers.
Oh, unbelievable.
Something really special.
Unbelievable.
Something really special. So we'll talk about that, and obviously the video we saw of Gimaresh. I'm gonna risk Gimaresh. Is that the name?
Couldn't tell you.
Bruno.
I'm going
I just
Bruno.
keep thinking of it's Bruno, yeah. That Bruno.
Bruno, yeah. It's Bruno, yeah. So we'll be chatting about Bruno as well. So let's get into it. We'll have a look at the transfers end. So Laura, players have come in, probably more than some were expected. What did you make of the signings? Maybe it's a rating out of 10. What did you make of the transfer window and how it unfolded? Overall, go on.
Well, I think if you look at it before the window opened, I think you would have been more than happy with, is it 5 altogether? Yeah, I would have been more than happy with 5. I think as Newcastle fans, and we always do, we had a bit of hope with Lingard, which didn't go the way we planned. So I think a lot of people then went down that negative road because they give a bit hope and then it got took away. But then taking that aside, I'm overall very happy with the signings. I think you've got to look at it as, are they better than what we already had? And they're 1,000,000% are. So hopefully they will improve our team. So I would say a solid 8.
Yeah, I'll go with 8. Ian, what do you reckon?
I would echo that 8. I think looking at sort of the areas that we needed to strengthen across the back 4, we've done that. Getting a player the likes of the caliber of Trippier, I think, has been absolutely phenomenal. And that was done early as well. Matty Target as well. I thought, to be honest, when Digne went to Villa, I thought we might test the water with that. Again, another solid Premier League player has proven. And then Dan Burn. I always gauge sort of how clubs, fans react to the players leaving. and both Target and Dan Burton, they were sort of held in quite high regard.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen much about Target. What was everyone?
See, there's a lad that on Twitter that I'm mates with who's a Villa fan, and he says he's a good solid,
Good.
solid
I know
player, so-
Brighton went like over the top, like in that,
Yeah, they did.
like
Like
the
that,
goodbyes
yeah.
to yeah.
It's like the end of Sopranos. Raza, what were your reflections?
I'm going to be a bit controversial. I think we could have done a bit better.
Right.
I think we could have brought. I think we need another centre half at least. I think
In the short term, do you think?
in the short, I mean,
got enough to keep us up.
time will tell, won't it? You know, it's. I was positive last time, and we got beat. You know what I mean? But I'm being realistic, and we are where we are because of the team we've got. We've got to see how we get on with the new kid, as in, you know, you've got to look at obviously when will Wilson come back, etc. So I'm hoping we've got enough. We'll have to see if it will be. I mean, you look at somebody, I'm over the moon with somebody like Dan Burn. He's a Geordie, first and foremost. So you get an extra 10% out of him straight away because he knows what it means. Trippier, as Ian pointed out, class. You know, he's world class. I'll be honest, I didn't know too much about this Bruno kid, you know.
No.
But everybody's went sort
Do you
of.
know much about him? Yeah, I don't think
I
anybody
buy him
does.
on FIFA.
Well, that's it. I had
That's
to
pretty
speak to
much all
some,
I've got to
like
go off.
some of the younger like kids who play FIFA and that. United. Who is this lad? Like, is he any good? Everybody raves about him. Obviously, we've got Chris Wood. We've got to start and play to his strengths, though. You know, we've sort of brought him in and stopped putting crosses in the box.
Yeah.
Week before, we had something like 500 crosses in the box. And then a week
Nobody on
later,
the end.
a week later, we'll start playing football on the deck. You're like, you're not going to score goals with him like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the left back, great addition because he was the first teamer, you know, at Villa, and then they brought the kid in from Everton. So, they'll improve our team, but I just think we needed a couple more, especially at centre half, because Dan Burn is obviously going to play, but will he play alongside the club captain, who for me is the one person who really lets that back four down.
Yeah.
You know, and we can't afford. We can't afford any more mistakes. We've made too many mistakes this season of what we weren't doing. That's cost me points.
Yeah.
We can't continue it anymore.
Ideally, who would you partner?
I think you've
Burn
got to,
with?
if he was fit, Fernandez.
Yeah.
If not, you're looking at Shaw.
Shaw.
Yeah. You're the same guys.
Yeah.
And then if Shaw isn't available, I wouldn't even put him with Dummett before I'd play Lascelles at centre
You
half.
got two lefties then.
Well, I didn't care. I'd rather have two lefties, you know. So
I'm gonna go positive though, and it might up Lascelles' game.
it might, it
Hopefully.
can only improve him because he's
Mhm.
got competition now. Hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
He knows
So-
he's coming to the end of the road. He
Aye.
must can sense the chat, even
Exactly,
even if he has come off Twitter. He must
Uh-huh.
can sense that his
Aye.
time is nearing to an end, so he needs to up his game.
So hopefully it does give him the kick on the
Mhm.
backside.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty much in the middle of both. I think
Mhm.
it was, if it hadn't been for that last minute missing out on Lingard, I'd be like, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But that just kind of put a sour.
Mhm.
I
sour
think
ending
Lingard
for
would
me,
have come,
didn't it?
but I think things that's happening at Man United stopped
Yeah.
that. I
Mhm.
think
It's a
at one point he was coming,
Mhm.
and then when things happened, not being well
Yeah.
publicised, it was a case of kind of let anybody go. So
Just before we move on, do you think that we go back in for Lingard at the end of the season? Should we stay up?
I think so.
Do we
I
think
think
we
we will
leave
as
that
well.
one? That ship has sailed.
No,
No,
I
I
would
think
say
that-
he seemed
yeah.
like as I said, he seemed he wanted to
Mhm.
come. So why not go back in for him?
It's like when he went to West Ham, he went there with a point to prove. I
Mhm.
think, talking to me, my dad, I think what benefits him this season, obviously it's a World Cup year,
That's
but
it.
Yeah.
that the World Cup's not until the winter. So
Yeah.
he'll still have sort of from August to,
Yeah.
what is it, November?
Yeah.
That's-
To
Yeah.
grab their
So-
attention.
yeah. So, yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily go back in for Lingard because I think we'll be, hopefully, again,
Mhm.
looking from a bigger pool of players. You know, I think the January transfer window, as everybody says, and Eddie Howe said, is notoriously difficult to do business in. And you're looking for players who are looking for a way out, i.e. Lingard.
But again, you're going to have to build, aren't you? So ideally, we'll stay up this season. You get next season, blank canvas.
Yeah.
Your main priority again is going to be to reach 40 points.
Yeah.
And then once you pass 40 points, anything's a bonus. Lingard, he's a proven Premier League player, isn't he? So I would prefer to go in with people like that than rather say spend 40, 50 million.
Yeah, I don't
kids
think
from
if we
Europe.
stay up that
Yeah.
next season's
Aye.
like right Champions League.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah,
I think you've
it's gotta
got
be
to.
the
It's still
building
a slow
process. You've got to
progress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
add the decent players who aren't going to upset the team. They're going to improve the team.
Mhm.
Just keep on building, you know,
Mhm.
because eventually you'll get to your end. The end point
Yeah.
Mhm.
is obviously you want to be successful and win things. You'll get there as long as you keep on improving.
But I'm not necessarily thinking that, you know, we're going to go and buy AC Milan centre midfielder or whatever. But I just feel like it's like sometimes you have a moment in time for a player and then you just move on.
No, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because there will be so much more plentiful options in not necessarily foreign players, but there might be domestic players that become available. You think?
I mean, Phil Foden will probably want to come. You know,
he's a little exactly.
He's out being a massive Newcastle fan, so
you know, but we'll see. Like, you know, time will tell. But obviously, I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Then we'll just need to make sure we're in the bloody
simple as
division.
that.
We weren't. It was you that brought it up.
That is true.
Keep him in check, Laura.
So I think obviously the next controversial was the squad emissions. Emissions? That's about cars, isn't it? Omissions. That's the word, isn't it? Omissions. I even had it written down and everything.
What was the difference in what you said?
Emissions.
Well done on keeping up with Laura and paying attention to him.
So like the stuff that comes out the back of your cars. And then omissions.
What, we shopping?
Something else.
Comes out the back of your car.
A dog. So the squad numbers 25. Kieran Clark, Lewis, which has caused a lot of controversy, and Isaac Hayden, I think, was an easy one. Probably a blessing in disguise for Eddie Howe. It's an easy takeout. But Raza, would you have made the same omissions from the squad, or would you have went a different route?
No, I probably would have done. But like you say, Hayden's a no-brainer. He's injured. I think Clark, for me, he let himself down. And I it's only a game in Saudi Arabia, but you get yourself sent off in a friendly exhibition game, and he's still not off with an Norwich game with me. So
Yeah.
yes, he would have went. And I've seen a few comments about, you know, Lewis. He's a young kid, been injured a couple of times this season. When you look at it, we've got Dummett who can play left back. We've got Target, Manquillo, Trippier, Dan Burn if he was stuck. You know, have I mentioned Dummett? You've got Richie.
Yeah.
We've got an abundance really of left-footed who can play like left back. Get him out on loan somewhere so he can get a bit of game time, get his confidence back, and then he can start again next season. So. No, I'm quite happy with them. You know, I think whatever three you would have left out, you're always going to have like pros and cons. You know what I mean? You always, like I say, opinions. Everybody's got one, so everybody's
like Arsenal's.
Like Arsenal. As we now say, opinions are like Arsenal's. Everybody's got one, so not everybody would agree. But I'm quite happy with them three. Simple as that, you know.
Do you think you could have boxed clever, maybe, and brought a young goalkeeper in, got rid of Gillespie, maybe, which might have been an easier leave out? Ian, what do you think? What did you make of the...
Yeah, I was thinking that, especially sort of just on in terms of like squad places where you are talking about young players there. I think that's why you are linked with that Hugo Ekitike.
Say it again?
What was he called again?
Ekitike. I practiced it a few times. Ekitike. I believe so. I don't know.
Tiki.
I think I've had that with chips before.
There's a rum Hugo Tiki Fire. Say like old J. Is it old J? Anyway,
now you're telling us.
Tiki Fire. That's it. Eggy Tiki Fire. But going back to what we're talking about. Emissions. Emissions. It's been a long week.
Nice, though.
Like I say, I'm just happy to be here. I think it's the Hayden one is, like I say, it speaks for itself. He's injured. Yeah. He's taking up a space. I think it would have been between. I mean, Clark again. I think is a no-brainer. He's probably the worst of the centre halves we've got.
Yeah.
It was, for me, the last place would have been between Richie and Lewis. Obviously the rumours were that Lewis had the chance to go out on loan, didn't, and then apparently said that he...
I think that was a crack with Clark as well. I heard Clark got off at a couple of places and sort of said, no, I'm not going anywhere. So
can I ask, it might be a silly question as well, so why would they say no? For what reason?
Well, for me... You see, this is my argument. If you're a professional footballer, surely you want to play football. Mm-hmm. You know, like, would you want to be somewhere in a job where you're not wanted?
Yeah, no.
But, like, I mean, let's face it, it's not like a normal job. You're not going to end up on the dole. So you're being offered that chance to go. You're not going to be on any lesser money, but you're going to be playing every week. Mm-hmm. For me, you would want to go. Like, if I was thought, like, I'm not the manager's plans and that's not going to be any worse, like, I'm not going to be worse financially off or anything like that. Yeah. I'm going to go. I want to play. You're a footballer. You want to play week in, week out. I can't understand that.
No, that's why I didn't understand.
Do you think it comes down to his attitude? And
possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's why when he has been fit, he hasn't got that much of a run in the team.
But Eddie Howe obviously doesn't rate him. And for what reason, I don't know. I mean, I think people are getting a bit carried away because for me, he was never, yes, he had a couple of good games, but it wasn't like he had a consistent run of brilliant games. And for me personally, you said between Richie at this moment in time, yes, Richie might not always get the game, but I would want a Richie in my dressing room
exactly
rather than
I think that's the difference. You will keep
Lewis.
Richie in the dressing room,
because they're not going to play. You've got your other left back options, which are better. So for me, leave Lewis out and keep Richie as a like a.
And I think Eddie Howe would have thought about all this because you look at the players he brought in quite a lot of it. He has like background checks. He checks, have the cause bother anywhere else, what they're like in their family life, like are they settled down, this, that, and the other. How will have decided all that as well. On I think apart from the Hayden one, because I think that's a no-brainer. You're injured, you're not playing. He's an easy one. I think Howell have thought about that as well. Maybe where they are mentally. Do they need to get out? Do they need somewhere fresh to start again? And build that confidence up. And I think he'll thought about that. So
I think with Hayden as well, it was a couple of seasons ago when he wanted away.
He wanted to be away,
but
didn't he, on the Rafa?
He's still sort of grafted and he's still rolled his sleeves up. So again, his attitude you can't really question in the time that he's been here. I think he put a tweet out as well saying
it was quite a nice tweet.
That he was a bit gutted, but he understands. So
I think if Hayden wasn't injured, he wouldn't be one of the ones.
I don't think it would have been a question.
I think that would have posed a massive, huge problem for the squad. I think if he was.
But I mean, on the flip side, you look at somebody like a Hendrick.
Yeah,
he could have easily went, but he decided. I think he's went to
QPR.
You've got hats off to the kid. He wants to play football. Good luck to him. I hope he does alright for QPR. So you've got the flip side of there. Somebody want to play football, and maybe the rumours true. We've heard they've been offered clubs, but they don't want to go.
Yeah.
So
I suppose unless you're on the inside. I mean, I remember Isaac Hayden had an interview, and he was talking a little bit about if players don't want to move. There's a number of, they might not say Clark's got kids in school up here, he's got family, and if I know there was apparently from Middlesbrough, but if it's an offer from Birmingham, or is he got to then, there's logistics to think about, is he going to uproot his family, is he going to travel every day? So I suppose it's maybe he's not as cut and dry as
for Clark, maybe, but
about,
Lewis, is he not just a young kid that can?
Well,
it sounds like Lewis possibly looks like he might. The Turkish window is still open, so he might.
Talk him going to Trabzonspor.
I was going to wait for you to have a go, and then I'll have a go. Should we go 1, 2, 3? Trabzonspor.
Well, there you are. You got it right there.
Trabzonspor, there you go.
Trabzonspor used to be on Channel 4, didn't it?
With the sumo, you used to watch the sumo on that. Remember, do you used to watch Trabzonspor?
These are just young Bens, aren't you?
Bens on the
Can you remember Black and White tellies?
I remember CFAX.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still
Bamboozle on Channel 4.
Oh, Teletext told us.
CFAX,
the Teletext.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you
People used to get the holders of the Teletext.
I used to check the scores on CFAX.
Wait
until it came back round.
Oh no, 12 or 74. You missed it, man.
You couldn't
even keep the stakeholder screen.
You'd have to write down the.
I remember tellies where you had the remote on a wire.
Oh no,
I'm only 21, mate, guys. Dear me.
A remote on a wire. I'm assuming.
Remember
I had one of them phones with the dials on it, like a red one.
Yes, yeah.
I remember when I was really little, I had a telly where it had like a flip down panel and like a plastic little pen that you stuck into like.
And you done tuning in and all that. Yes,
I chipped the screen. I was playing golf with a hammer and chipped the screen.
Golf with a hammer.
So what you doing?
Not being funny. That's probably why you're not a professional golfer.
Golf for the hammer.
Tiger, what we using today? Claw hammer.
No, it's a mallet. This one, it's a mallet job. This.
No, we need a good drive past the sledge one. Cheers.
Laura, what's your memories of televisions?
Flat screen.
Flat screen.
No, I'm joking.
Flat screen. No, I remember when at school somebody brought in. Like one of the teachers, it was a parents.
Really ones.
No, it was a parents' evening. No, it was a parents' evening on the night when Newcastle played Leeds when Keegan had his meltdown. And somebody brought in.
Love it.
Somebody brought in, like one of the teachers, or they must have got it from somewhere, a massive telly. Now it's probably small compared to now, but it had like a wooden surround, and then in the base of it, they had the projector.
All right.
With like the 3 colours projecting on the screen.
What
it was like, but it was like proper mahogany. That's a type of wood. Mahogany.
I know that.
Are you big Wood? Are you big Wood fan, like?
No. Christmas.
But I was keep mahogany surrounding that, and like every was.
What's your favourite MDF? No one only can.
MDF.
MDF. That's wood, isn't it?
That's what
I thought it's from that place.
Anyway,
that
right. Wood Chatter says.
That's DFS. Isn't it?
DFS.
Oh man.
No, you like SES. No. Right. So I think that's quite comprehensively covered the transfers and the outward goings. But
Did Wood? Aye.
Would I?
Aye. Chris Wood.
Finish on there.
Back to Chris Wood. Has
Yeah,
he got COVID? Chris Wood got COVID.
No,
he hasn't.
he's
All right.
he's fine.
See what we've done there?
Yeah.
Went to
Segue.
Wood,
Oh, he's a professional. First time in the
Oh,
studio.
you
Look
see,
at him.
man.
He's taken over.
That's why I've been trying to get you down the
Yeah,
studio
man.
all this time, Raza. So, we've got Everton coming up Tuesday night. They've got a game against Brentford in the FA Cup on Saturday, so I'm sure we'll all be glued to that. If you can get it on your dodgy stick. If
I've got it on my big mahogany.
If anybody has any mahogany telly, you can get on your mahogany telly. They've signed Dele Alli, who we were strongly linked with. They've signed Van de Beek.
Van de Beek, aye.
And they've also signed a couple of left backs, one from Rangers and
Oh, they signed it them on the Rafa, didn't they, before they went?
Ukrainian
Aye.
guy, yeah. When they let Dina go. So, I mean, it's an absolute monster of a game, isn't it?
Yep.
It's huge, Laura.
I'm
Tuesday, are you nervous already?
I'm nervous. I know I'm in the minority, but I hate a night aim game. Hate them with a passion. Just cold. I miss the gym, and I'm just not a fan. But I'm looking forward to this one, but in a weird sort of way because I'm like ridiculously nervous. Like new manager, new players. They're looking for that bounce. And every team have had it bar us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am pretty nervous about it. I think it'll be tense. I think the crowd will be high.
I think the crowd will play a massive part.
Yeah.
But also, I think they'll also be very tense if it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about the Watford game, that was probably the tense. You know,
Yeah.
you could see the nervousness and the
awful.
tenseness in the players after the flags had gone down. It was like, oh shit, we're in this now.
Did I tell
Like,
you there was a fight 2 minutes in at the Watford game at the Gallowgate?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, 2 minutes. That's how tense it was.
Really?
Yeah.
What, like
Full fisticuffs, or was it more?
Geordies? Like Geordies against Geordies,
Yeah,
right?
Her full on fist. This bloke stood on the wall, was singing. The man behind us didn't take too kindly. It's been brewing for a while.
I thought
but
Steven Sispay, was he?
No,
No.
to the side.
Didn't Mark chokeslam someone for
Yes,
doing the
he
same
did.
thing?
Yes.
Was it not Mark?
It wasn't Mark.
Did you drop a choke slam on him?
No, I stayed well clear of it.
She went in
But
with
yeah.
people's elbow.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna Stevie
Handbag,
Hawker.
man, it's the handbag.
It's gonna Stevie
bloody
Hawker, didn't
reach,
she?
did I?
Yeah, have you seen that?
What's that?
A professional pillow fighting.
What?
What?
Oh
How
my
are we getting
God.
onto that?
No, because of swinging stuff.
I beg
So,
your pardon.
There's like, you know how there's like
Hey,
now
there could
there's
be
like
kids
obviously
watching
there's-
this.
There's boxing,
Oh, it's up at 9 o'clock, and
there's UFC, and then there's the bare knuckle,
right.
which now are like a bit of bare knuckle.
Aye.
And now there's a professional.
Pillow
There's a
fight.
professional
Pillow
pillow
fight.
fighting league. There's like a professional pillow fighter world champion.
Lot of shade.
No, I'm all
I'm
up. We'll be in
serious?
the bottom three with
Two
that. No?
blokes in a ring with a pillow. One with a red pillow, one with a blue pillow. I swear to God.
Right, I
True
don't need
story.
that. Right, getting back. I don't want to know about your search history, but getting back.
No,
what's the
it's
crack?
true. Honestly, check it out. Professional pillow fighting. There's a pillow fighting league.
Like
I
duck,
don't even know
duck
a
feathers
lot
or memory
about
foam
this.
pillows or what?
Oh, I
Or?
don't know.
Aye.
Imagine probably duck feathers, memory foam. You cannot really get any.
And I
Couldn't
would
get
if
any-
you get a duck feather that's sticking out the pillow case, oh, it could be nasty. And now
It's
you've
got a
had
cut.
it.
It's
Aye.
got a cut.
Aye.
It's
Oh,
got a
there's an
cut.
eye gone.
Bit of Vaseline
Anyway,
on
back to the
there.
Everton game. Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
No, but you could put some Albus oil on, couldn't you? That would like.
What are you
What,
going to
like
do?
chloroform?
What
I
about
Aye,
you?
like well, the Albus oil would be like getting the eyes.
was going to say, usually it just clears your airways.
Make it breathe a
Oh,
bit
no,
better.
forget the eyes. Aye.
Get more
No,
oxygen.
If you get it in your eyes, it's not a Vicks or something else. Get it in your eyes, it's a nightmare. Anyway.
I'm
Anyway.
totally lost.
Laura, I
like.
seen what you caused. Yeah, mentioning a fight at the match.
Aye, pillow fight.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Anyway, right. So, yes. So Everton. So there's a fight. So
There's
the
a fight,
tension is
tension.
going to be high, isn't it? It's going to be a huge, massive game, and they've brought in Dele Alli, who we were linked with. Now, when we were linked with Dele Alli, I was quite like, oh, aye. But then since he's gone to them, I'm like, aye, shite. Hasn't had a good game in 2
Fickle.
years. Like, Raz, have we got much to fear? Do you reckon from Everton?
I think so. Aye, a bit like Laura said. You've got the new manager bounce of any team. Given they've got Dele Alli, who I would have had. He's people are going to be looking for the improvement. Is he going to perform? You've got what's he called, Van de Beek, the kid from Man United. Now being given a chance. He's going to want to perform. you've got all these players who are now playing for a manager they're going to want to perform because they want to going to be starting every week, you know. So we're up against it, you know. We've got obviously when new players and things like that, are they going to fit in, or they're going to, you know, hit the ground running straight away. And that's not enough for, but I'd take a draw straight away now.
Yeah.
But who knows? Newcastle United, we could go out, we could beat them 3-0, we could get beat 5-0.
Yeah.
Who knows? But no, I'm a bit worried.
Laura, come on, fill us with a bit more confidence.
Well, I was positive last time.
I had my go first.
No, but we're starting, and then we're starting talking about pillow fights.
Ah, right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, so do I just repeat what I said before?
No, but
What do you think the result will be?
The result.
Do you think we're going to win? Or?
I agree. I would take a draw, even though but because I think we're just clutching at straws now. We'll take anything that's a point. That's not a defeat.
And our draws.
I would hope that midweek game at home, crowd
on the side.
I'm gonna go positive. I'm gonna say 2-0 and
Bruno
Wood. Yeah.
Wood. Back the MDF again.
Yes. I just want him to get started because
it would be nice because
everyone
gets one.
Everyone's saying there's double figures every season. He's running out of games.
Yeah. I mean, we need to win 8 games realistically. Do you think that this is going to be the first of those 8?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Yes, positivity.
Come on.
We're not pessimistic. I'm more of a realist, but being real is just realizing that we're terrible. But for some reason, I think we'll turn up, and I think 3-1. I think as well if Pickford has one of his horrendous games.
I forgot about it.
He has a bit of a mental block, doesn't he? I've never thought about Pickford because mentally he just goes kind of deal. You can't help yourself.
Yeah.
So the crowd, as Laura said, will play a massive part because when they start the chance at him, he just can't help but react. He just goes into another place, you know. So
I think as well if you've got a big presence like Chris Wood in the box, you'll struggle with him as well.
Yeah.
But it is imperative that we need to get some crosses in. We need to get
100%.
Blythe, Van Basten, whatever he's called.
Blythe, Beckenbauer.
As
I think Tom Lynch said before. I do apologise for those people making some comments. I am reading them, but I just can't put them on the screen at the moment, so I do apologise. Maybe if Chris is watching and he can log in, he can put them on. But I'm trying to do it on my phone today, so I'm struggling a bit, you know.
Wish Chris was,
What are you on about? I'm an excellent host, you know what I mean? I'm like the
hostess with the mostess.
Together, you know what I mean? Bossy, you know what I mean? How long have I known you for?
You've put him off now.
Shan. Anyway, right, so I'm going to go. I think we're going to win.
Right. So I went draw.
I'm going to go win.
Win.
I hope he's all right.
So do I.
I mean, it has to happen because, like I say, the games are running out. We need a minimum 8 wins to get with a 10.
If you win as well, you go, I think it's 1 point behind Everton.
Yeah,
so that
and it pulls
another
right in.
Yeah.
But there's before that, it's Saturday, Watford, Burnley.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a massive game. What would you want out of that? Would you want
draws? Probably.
Yeah, probably draws. Yeah, a few sendings off.
Is that tomorrow? Is it?
Two injuries. Sendings off. Roy Hodgson sacked.
Well, after he's probably got a chance, David. They come through.
I'm really surprised. Managers. I suppose they're all like a pound note, don't they? Like, I mean, well, formerly of this parish, Steve Bruce is now the West Brom manager.
Well, they'll be winning the Premier League next year, wouldn't they? When they get promoted.
But the thing is, though, he will go and get them. I bet he gets them promoted.
He probably will because he's a championship manager at best, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then didn't he struggle with Villa when they had a fairly decent team?
Will he play Andy Carroll though? That's what I want to know. That'll be interesting.
There was some good pictures of Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
The people had like cut, so he's like looking like going,
bollocks. But, I think obviously it's a good move for Carroll as well. Then you get hit with a bombshell. Who's going to be an ex-gaffer? You know, it's like what do you do?
I think you'd be gutted. Like,
do you think that the fact that there's a Greg's a 2-minute walk away from the Hawthorns was a deal sealer for our Baker and Bruce? Do you reckon?
He's a good football man. You can't make jokes.
He's a family man.
Sorry.
He's a family man.
He's going to be lining up for an England job or a Man
I do apologise. Right, I think we should stop the Steve Bruce chat there.
Yeah,
it's been in too many people's minds for the last week or so. So we have the last few episodes. We've talked about the increased social media stuff that the club have been putting on. They've been putting a lot of videos on YouTube. I'm sure we've all watched the training. Where, by the way, Matt Targett looked like he was there on a bring your daughter or son to work there, and he was like the top didn't fit him. He was like running like,
He never stopped smiling though. That's what I
did,
like.
yes, that's what I like about him.
Oh, you see, I thought he looked petrified. I thought it was like a nervous smile. I thought he looked really out of place. Bless him.
Yeah, he did. He did. He reminds me. I did a training day at Newcastle once, and people like running around doing shuttles, and that. I was like, oh right. And I looked totally out of place in me out of date football kit and all this, and like, it's not good. Like so, but yep, the videos today were like I said. Raza spent most of the day at the airport today, because his work rate is unmatched, and he wanted to get the first look at Bruno. And Raza, you were impressed with his footwear, I believe.
Loafers, yes. It's we've all made that error, haven't we? We've come up with holidays. You're on the plane on the way back. You got your flip flops on. You step off the plane at Newcastle Airport. Sliders. And it's -10. You could see him. He sort of got up the plane and adjusted his suit jacket up to say, "Oh,
I've landed.
It's a bit cold, yeah, pet." So lovely choice of footwear. And he went, I think they were training at St. James's, isn't they?
Yeah.
Went in the dressing room and Sam Fender was blaring out.
Yeah, that was nice to see.
Good on them,
Laura, have you seen the video?
No,
it's good, man.
It's a really
good video.
Did Emery spot Kieran Clark
just
sort of like
on his phone?
Aye, on his phone.
No, was he there?
Look, he's playing.
Came in just.
It's a bit harsh including him in it, isn't it?
He should be sweeping the pitch. He should be
He was
cleaning the
literally behind,
turnstiles.
and I think he was one of the first people he met.
All right.
So I seen Big Joe Linton come in and give him a hug.
I've seen a clip of that.
There was a lot of people getting hot under the collar about that. Like it was very, I saw a lot of traffic on Twitter about the two Brazilians linked up. There was it was a thing of beauty. Like it was really nice to see. But yes, Sam Fender blasting, and then seeing all the lads, and it sounded like he spoke a little bit of English as well.
Did he?
Yeah. I think he said it's good to be here or something. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Right. No, I didn't hear that.
Where's Pop World?
You know how to do house trebles at Mushers, like? Do they still do them, like? Is it still open? So Bruno, like we said, I think you're probably the most informed about him because we have.
I had no idea who he
I've
was.
played Championship manager since Robert Fleck was a great signing.
Since the GCSEs, that's what I blamed my failure for GCSEs. Cannot say Nicholas Alexanderson.
And who else was there? It was who was that kid, man? Cherno Samba and that. Cherno Samba.
You should put the cheat code in, so you ended up with like 80 million or something, didn't you? And you go,
I used to build it up. I used to build it up. You probably can't do that now, can you? There's probably kind of do cheat codes and that now on Football Manager and that, can you?
Probably can.
There'll be some.
Things are more advanced these days, so you probably would be able to.
There'll be some like computer whiz who's able to hack the mainframe and make sure.
You've got PCs these days, or they
I don't know. What do people have?
Remember PCs?
The big block ones.
Yeah, I do actually remember.
Remember them?
Yes,
and the speakers, the separate speakers.
Yes.
Turn them both on and
You had to put your CD in, it was like, like, oh, for God's sake, man, shut up.
And then your connection.
You dial up
internet.
But then father got, I need a phone.
You couldn't use the phone.
Get on the internet.
I'm on the phone to Ramsey, man. You're not gonna lay you. What are you watching up there? Nothing. Didn't come up, man. Anyways.
Did anyone actually use floppy disks?
Yeah.
Use floppy disks for what was it? The cookbook. Do you remember the Jolly Rogers cookbook?
No.
Oh, there'll be somebody on the comments who knows what the Jolly Rogers cookbook was. It was like this little so it's a floppy disk you got. He used to teach how to make bombs and all this stuff. It was like proper Roger used to get the rounds. You know what I mean?
Funnily enough,
somebody. I'm gonna look at the comments. Somebody must know the Jolly Rogers cookbook. I must be.
I never had any interest in stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So was a floppy disk like an old memory stick?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And you could store about 2 things on it.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them being Jolly Rogers.
One of them being the Jolly Rogers. Honestly, the Jolly Rogers cookbook was like I think it opened like a doc file, and it was like teach how to make a bomb or teach how to do this, that, and the other. Honestly, somebody in the please, because I sound like an absolute nutcase now. Please, somebody mention in the comments that there was such a thing as a Jolly. Google it.
FBI and CIA. You're probably watching Gallowgateshots from there on. They're like, oh, man, it wasn't all him. You're on your own. You're like Roger.
And my mum's watching the now, so I'm gonna have to be careful what I say now. Mama Banks is watching the night, so I do apologise, mother. I didn't do any of that stuff though. I was always a good boy, me. Something like that. Yes. So Bruno's loafers. Do you think he's going to get a start against Everton? Surely.
You don't pay that money to sit him on the bench, do you?
No.
However,
It would be a massive letdown if he
I
wasn't.
I think we mentioned that you want the crowd up, and you know,
Yeah.
you're 40 million man sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I don't think he's. From the very little I know, it doesn't seem like he would be an impact player, someone that you would play from the start to try and control. Because I was watching the highlights, I think he was playing Paraguay.
So is he a defensive midfielder or what? What's the crack?
Yeah, like a holding midfielder.
Oh.
But when I was watching him I watched the highlights for Brazil against Paraguay. He's like box to box.
Yeah.
I think he assisted. I think it was Neymar.
Yeah.
His run as well was fantastic.
Right. Well, I've heard from, I think it was the Brazilian or the South American correspondent for the, I think he might have been on Talk.
The Gated Post.
I thought you were going to say South American correspondent
the
for
football pig.
Shots.
No, not for the guy. We've got one in California, but not South America yet. And he was saying that he can do that job. He can do the middle. You know, he can do all those jobs that you see. He's bit box to box. So it just depends really on, you know, where John Joe Shelby tells him to play. Really, I think that's what we're. You know,
I tell you what I love most about him, his number and the reason behind it. Proper wholesome, good lad.
I like it's Bruno G. You know, it has a very 90s trance DJ vibe about it. You know, Bruno G. We're back.
It's Bruno.
It's Bruno.
You could listen to it at the gym, couldn't you?
Bruno G. It's called, you know, like Bruno G. Step box.
Hipster step.
Well, that was close.
Hip steps.
Hipster.
Hit high intensity step.
High intensity steps.
That's like Reggie Court Flats, isn't it? It's like, steps. I wouldn't like to go up them.
It's like when you're doing stairs and your mum and dad come in and you should be in bed and you run up the stairs. That's what it is. It's called. Hit steps. So you got to hit the steps quickly. That's apparently. Anyway.
All you is come and do it next week and then see if you're talking about it.
You'd like to see me late, right?
I'll tell you. We got neighbour. When is it? What time is it?
6 o'clock next Friday.
Oh no, we've got that thing. We've got that family.
I've got
a family and/or work commitment. That excludes us from coming to hit step. I don't know.
I wasn't invited to that.
Oh yeah.
Play that game.
Step, funny laugh.
That's all right. I genuinely have plans. Not those made up ones.
No. Right. Well, now that we've comprehensively covered transfers, we've covered Bruno's loafers. Our topic on Twitter today and in the comments, if you want to get involved, is all about hard men. So we had a little bit of a debate about what are you laughing at hard men for?
No reason.
Everything has to turn sexual.
Is it hard men or like people who like are a bit chody bally?
Well, this is what the discussion was. So we have to always clarify what's a walkie ticket and what's a hard man. So we've gone with hard men, just basically people you don't mess with because they are actually hard. Not mouthy little so-and-so's. I nearly said the C word there. Cooks. And we've had a few over the years, I think. The mouthy ones will probably come to. I think we've probably got more mouthy ones than more hard men, I would imagine. Messrs Bellamy and players like that. So, but over the years, we took some suggestions. I tried to get in touch with as many of my older Newcastle fans as possible because I did get a bit of a slating last time for not mentioning certain players that.
Did you ask me, Dad? I don't think you've messaged me, Dad. You won't be very happy.
Well, I knew that you would message him,
right,
so
okay.
Got out that one. Jesus.
See how you
turns. You messaged me, Dad. I mean, I just knew that you would, but I meant,
okay.
you know, I messaged me uncle.
Okay.
Mentioned Guy who I sit next to, you know, and a few with us. So, you know, I tried to get it.
Okay.
Fucking Jesus. So, have we? I tell you what. Before we get into our choices and who we've picked, any honourable mentions? Laura,
McNamee.
Did you have any? You want McNamee?
McNamee's got to be in there. I think Laura's fella said the same.
Yeah, me too. Like, what does honourable mentions mean? Like someone that I didn't pick.
So, like Leo Man mentioned McNamee, and Laura's fella mentioned McNamee.
We could have picked, but we didn't pick.
Well, me dad said Steve Carney, Whitehurst, McNamee, Harford. So my one I could have picked but didn't was. I'm going to go with what we were saying before about Tiote. Could have picked Tiote.
Yeah.
Like, R.I.P. But, yeah, I didn't because I'm not going to go off on you and I'm not. But I thought it was a bit ambiguous because I didn't know if you meant.
Honestly,
You
I wish I'd
said.
never taught you this word ambiguous. You know, I get snared. I'm trying to be very clear on the qualifications.
So I have went back and looked at your message, and you said hard mental players, and we will happy to come up with a very clear definition before proceeding.
Did if you go.
Oh,
Right, people want to see you scrolling down on your phone
Sorry.
about my mistakes. Anyway,
Right.
honourable mentions. So McNamee, your
Yep.
father was mentioning. So,
Yeah.
so what did
John
you say?
Burridge and all. He was a hard goalkeeper, wasn't he?
Who?
And he was
Budgie.
he was
Burridge,
like
a
a
goalkeeper.
double threat because he was a cracker.
proper. He was a hard man, but a lunatic.
Aye, absolute loony.
Great goalkeeper though.
Ian, any honourable mentions from your side? Any players that you could have picked, but you
from
thought
Big Scuba Steve? That's my dad. David Scuba Steve. David Batty.
Yeah,
Stuart
definitely.
Pearce.
Oh yeah, actually.
Those two are the honourable mentions.
Yeah, I mean there was absolutely tons came in. McNamee, Whitehurst was the one that kept coming up from people that are of a later generation than me. And then Bracewell, you mentioned
Paul Bracewell, the ace man,
as well. He was hard as nails. Kilcline has got a lot of traffic as well.
I used to love him in the Masters.
Bring back the Masters football. That was great. That, by the way, it was good.
I'm too young for him, but I do know him purely because of Beresford's story about when they shaved his tash off. And he went absolutely mental.
Was Nash that one? Was Lee Clark who done that one?
Was it? I didn't know if they got the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So I assumed he was a bit of a mental.
A few people have mentioned, like I've got Paul. Sorry, I can't put these comments on, but I've got Paul who's mentioned, Paul Williams mentioned Joey Barton. We chat about now Joey Barton, like,
see, I don't think he's a hard man.
Is he hard or is he just an absolute, like,
he's a gummy shit. And I think he thinks he's hard. He's a product
of his
environment.
If somebody hard puts it on him, he'll wilt.
Well, I think he went where he wanted to have Gavin Shearer in the dressing room and he shit his pants when Shearer was a gapper. You know, so I don't think he's hard. Like people going on with Bellamy. I think he's just an aggie. You know, like somebody who people who scream at you and shout and ball at you. But would they physically confront you, like give it, put it on you? Yeah, I don't think they would. Yeah, you know what I mean.
A shout that's just come out of left field for me, like, but he was once a bouncer.
May Cooper. Actually stopped me getting in the board. Durham, Did
you fancy a little good or not?
No,
did you think?
Nah.
Did he have his tight shorts on?
No, he didn't. He still had the Asics goalie top on. No, he didn't. But no, I think I might have mentioned something about, are you May Cooper? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you were shit. Yeah. And I never got in. So I'm always for telling the truth. You know what I mean? He was a shit keeper, wasn't he?
Another one that's come in, Alan Smith. I think he might have missed all of our lists. Actually, Alan Smith.
You put him on.
Oh, did I put him on?
Yeah,
you know what? I put Smith in the hard category because he was a dirty bastard. He'd leave his foot in.
He loved to tackle.
Yorkshire lad. Game. He would probably have a scrap.
Yeah. Where do you stand on Kevin Nolan as a hard man?
He was a bit. Nolan. He would probably leave his foot in. He's a scouser and all that. So a bit of a scally in him.
Bit of the scally eyes. Got
a bit of a lad there.
And he got sent off in his first game, if you remember, when he signed for in the January transfer window.
Was it again? Bolton?
Everton.
Oh yes.
Everton. He snapped. Who was the
Anichibi. That's right. Yeah.
Sent off.
No, I'd probably put Nolan in there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go through as many of these comments, and a few of them have covered the ones we're gonna submit as suggestions. So we'll get on to ours, and then I'll try and come back to some of the comments as well. So, who shall take the floor first? Ian.
Yes.
Come on then. Your suggestion for our hard man. Now, this is just the ExtraTyne hard man. We'll put it on Toon Pose and you can decide what you think of ours, and then please comment with your own. So this isn't the definitive list. This is just our list, okay? So you can slate or rate us, but just be kind as possible. So Ian, who did you have?
I'm going with Czech Tiote.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the list that you give us, he's probably the one that I know most about because
you don't have to
wait. No,
you don't have to sit to the list. You can go outside.
Well, I'm
all for free thinking. So.
We did go outside the list, but again, the ambiguity on your explanation there. would have ended up with Matt Ritchie as a hard man, which he's not really. He's just
No.
more.
You're gonna have to explain it to these Bens properly, you know.
And, unless you're a corner flag, he's
Do you
not a
mean
hard
us
man.
because you were talking about it out there before came in? You said the
Aye.
same. So you
She's
can't
hiding me
actually,
under
you
the
can't
bus there
blame
as well,
us.
isn't she? You know what I mean?
Mutiny, yeah, like, absolute mutiny on the
I mean,
boat.
I did complain about the
Shock
where
against,
United
like-
thing, saying that the question wasn't there, like, so I. There you go.
Shocking.
Yeah, that was another thing as well.
But yeah, anyways,
I'll improve it for next time.
God rest his soul.
Aye.
Yes.
He literally, if you wanted to bet on anyone getting booked in a game,
I was yellow
Yeah.
card all the time.
but just hard as nails
Yeah.
in the middle, especially his first 2 seasons,
Yeah.
especially when he was paired up with Kabay.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
It was like silk and steel, wasn't it?
It was,
like,
like magnet and steel.
Yes, there you go.
I don't want to touch the wire in case
Yeah,
it breaks.
please don't touch
There's
anything.
no
'cause we're
technical help
struggling here.
But yeah, he was always good for a tackle. Again, always like hard in the challenge as well.
Yeah.
And just his 2 goals that he
Yeah.
scored, phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, the Man City one that
The
was ruled
bad.
out. I'm still angry about that.
Aye.
That was upsetting. A particular game for Tutti, I remember, was the Man United game. And I think there's like a highlights reel when we beat Man United 2-1, I think, when Kabay scored that, or maybe it's 3-1.
Was it
3-0.
3-0?
I scored the free kick at the Gallowgate.
Tutti, there's a somebody's cut to music. Like Tutti is played during that game, and he's just an absolute menace.
Mhm.
You know, he's closing people down. I think he snaps Rooney a couple of times. You know, it's a real. If you're ever feeling like you need a bit of motivation, maybe it's before we're going to hit step.
Mm-hmm.
We could watch
Mhm.
Tutti
Just watch
just slamming into people.
We'll try it next
I'm
Friday.
sure
it's
yeah.
fine.
On one of the Ryan Taylor podcasts, he was saying in training he was like that as
Yes,
I'm sure I was
yeah,
saying
you're
that.
right. You're right. So it wasn't just all for show on the pitch. He would
Yeah,
his
it
own
was-
teammates. So that is a hard man. I guess that is a hard man.
Do you
Uh,
think it was just because he was like maybe he's a sandwich short of a picnic?
I think, yeah, possibly.
Probably
Didn't he
lives in
sign
environment, didn't he, like,
Chris's van?
mentalist.
Tough eye.
I'm sure he signed Chris's van. Like
Oh, he did.
what
His
right-thinking
delivery van.
person
Yeah,
would
yeah,
do
that is
that?
true. Aye.
Yeah.
That
Didn't
is
I like
true.
Chris Eubank Jr. signed somebody's.
Oh,
mate.
my
Oh,
God.
yeah,
mate,
mate,
yeah.
Aye,
Mate,
the
mate.
tune,
What,
aye.
like our Chris's van?
Yeah.
When he was delivering.
He
stuff,
delivered
I
in
think.
was it Jesmond?
Aye.
So he basically delivered to a house next door to Chiotti.
Uh-huh.
Seen it was Chiotti and said, "Oh, like, can you take this parcel in or something?" And then
Then
got
he
him
said,
to sign
he
his van.
Would he sign me van?
You not have any paper?
I thought you meant like the card that you normally leave would deliver your parcel.
Ah, yeah.
Instead, he
No,
signed the
his
van.
actual van.
Ah,
I'm sure he
God.
said though that his boss was a Sunderland fan. I think like probably had his life like.
Brilliant. Look how they are,
That's
like.
pretty impressive.
Aye.
Laura, I'll come to you.
Mhm.
Who did you go with? That was, I think that was quite set the bar quite high there. So
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'm going to ruin it probably
No, you're not, you're
because...
come on, Laura.
Well,
Who's
because
your hard man?
I nearly hit the thing. I went slightly left field shock because
That's fine.
I really didn't think this person was going to feature 2 times, 2 weeks in a row on the Hall of Fame because I really dislike him. However, when you first said it,
Answer
Arif,
Maximum's not a hard man.
no, I like him.
Oh,
Sometimes.
you like him today, right? then.
Today, yeah, until
That's fair enough.
Tuesday
Aye,
when
we
he
haven't
falls
played
over.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So, aye.
So, yeah, it's not fresh in my mind what he's done. Yeah, so I was thinking when you first mentioned it, I like to go with who I think of first.
Yeah.
And when you said hard man, what else did he say? What was he said? Hard man, mental.
Yeah.
I went Meatro like straight away. I mean, his debut, got booked in 20 seconds,
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Against Southampton
Yeah.
or something. Yeah. And then I really didn't like him as a player. I wasn't a fan, and
Yeah.
we've covered that last week. But as a hard mental man, I think he would go in for any challenge. He'd have your
He's
back.
full, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Aye.
would like stick up for you. He would.
Centre
graft,
half knew
like-
they were in the game.
yeah.
You know, they
Mhm.
knew they had a
Oh,
game
yeah.
with him when he come up.
You'd have the ref's life. You'd have their life. You'd
Aye.
have the
Was it
defense life.
not his father who'd said? I read a quote. They asked his father about him, and he said, "I always thought he'd either end up a professional footballer or he'd end up in jail." And
I think that rings a bell,
get like a better
actually.
description of a player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's no happy medium with him. You could see him being like some kind of
Eastern European.
Eastern
mobster.
European
Yeah,
like, gangster.
yeah.
You know what I
100%.
mean? Like trafficking
Like,
people or drugs or something like that. Or he's a footballer. You know what I mean?
Aye.
So.
He snapped.
Aye.
Did he snap Dwight Gale's neck against Norwich
Ooh.
Oh,
when
he-
we celebrated?
Oh,
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that? Hitman's neck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
he's
was-
a bit of a psycho.
Yeah, so that's
Would
what
you- yeah.
he came to mind first
Yeah.
when you mentioned it. So I like
Aye.
to stick with who.
And he
comes.
likes a pair of sliders as well. If you remember when they qualified in the I think they beat Portugal, and he came out on the pitch with a
Some
bottle of
sliders.
beer, a vest, he slipped on, and a pair of sliders.
Aye.
So Mitro wears sliders, Chris. So sliders aren't
You
that
know
bad
what it was?
after
I
all.
was going to wear me sliders,
I nearly wore mine,
but it's a bit chilly.
It
out.
is a bit chilly, yeah.
And
I wouldn't cut in the Hard Man Hall of Fame.
in a strange twist of irony, the day after, or maybe it was a couple of days after, I got poo on my sliders.
All right, lovely.
Aye, somebody
you
let
have
a
to
dog
swash
poo
them?
on me grass verge,
All right.
dear.
and I stood on it and I felt the squelch.
Squelch.
Oh, man.
So they're out the back now. They need attention, but anyway, same ones. But there we go. Just before we get to you, Raza, last minute. And
Yes,
I can't
I've just
believe
seen
we
that.
missed
I
him.
can't believe I missed
Like
it myself.
absolutely hard as nails. Possible serial killer material. Andy Griffin.
Yes.
Like what? Like a fearless
Quiet,
tackler.
just a quiet,
Quiet, silent
one, yeah,
assassin.
Yep.
Aye.
You want somebody to man mark?
Tackle
maybe
a
you should
tree.
do a man mark in Hall of Fame, and then
Aye.
he would be top
Maybe
of the list.
marked, was it Ginola out of the semi-final?
Several
in Old
games,
Trafford?
aye, yep.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Aye.
Andy Griffin.
They're the type of ones that should go on the list.
Yeah.
The under the
Yeah.
radar.
Yeah,
I
under
totally
the
forgot about
radar.
him. When I
Aye,
was thinking of
under
stuff,
the
you
radar.
think about like Stuart Pearce and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah.
Aye, Andy Griffin.
And
Hard
somebody's
bottom,
mentioned Jimmy Scholar. I hope I've said that right.
Must be
So,
before me. too.
Paul William and somebody else is Jeff Johansson is backed that one up, but I might have to Google that one. But yeah, I think Mitro totally wiped Target out before he touched the ball on his debut. That was it. That was the game. Southampton game. So
I was
But
just
our
sort of read the
Target.
comment.
yeah, the
Oh.
target, and there he is. Mitrovic is up there.
Oh,
I
Those
never
of you
noticed that before.
watching, you can't
That,
see, but
that giant
Mitrovic is up
flag.
there. That huge flag is up.
I haven't
Mitrovic,
looked
aye.
up. I don't
Every
look
time I
up.
look, I think it looks
I
a bit
never
like
look
Kieran
up.
Clark, but it is actually Mitrovic. So
You?
yeah. And Andy Griffin was so hard he ploughed his car into a metro. That's how hard he is.
Double hard.
Double
Aye.
cush
Get
hard,
off the
isn't he?
metro.
Aye, get off the metro, you little ratchet. Right.
Did you see the
Yeah.
edit of that on the Bruno
plane.
plane?
Oh, unbelievable.
I love people when they do that, you know.
Yeah. Little bits.
Mhm.
Right. So Andy Griffin aside, who I'm disappointed we missed Duke,
I can't believe I missed him.
Raza, and now you've got a humdinger of a one. So this has got a lot of comments as well. So Raza, who you going to go with?
It's got to be Big Dunk, isn't it? Duncan Ferguson, the epitome of a hard man,
Mhm.
you know, on and off the pitch.
Mhm.
If you're two burglars who he
Foolishly.
called robbing his house, you know, silly boys. You know
Aye,
what I
yeah.
mean? Talk about shitting your pants when the light comes on.
Aye.
Stand with his mahogany telly. Oh. But no, Big Dunk. I remember it was a European game. I want to say it was Materazzi, centre
Yeah.
half. I think I was talking to you earlier about it.
Was it maybe it's Roma though? I'm thinking
Divina.
we played Roma when he was.
I can't remember which
Yeah.
Italian team it was, but it was a bit of a commotion. And obviously, it's before VAR. The corner to the Leazers, you can see the defender, and I mean the eye-tie defenders are nipping, they're pulling and everything. Big Dunk's just sort of, you know, nodding, and all of a sudden he sort of made like a move, and like two defenders, might have been three, just ended up on the floor, you know. And when you watched it back, I think it was when I watched it back on ITV, like he punched one, nutted one, and punched the other one, you know, like all in one.
Like a
movement.
Jason Bourne.
Aye,
like.
he was
Like-
just muckle, wasn't he? You know what I mean?
Aye.
Typical
Mhm.
Glaswegian. You know, I
Aye.
just love the rough and tumble, and but a really good footballer. He doesn't get credited enough
Very
for how good he was.
great
Skillful for
footballer.
a big lad as well.
Is he Lampard's assistant?
Well, I was told he was going to leave, but then there was a picture the other day, and there's like
Yeah.
he's there. They've added Ashley Cole, I think,
Yeah.
there as well.
Mm.
So, but no, I love Big Dunk.
Yeah.
He's
Nice guy as well.
Aye.
Like the Twitter videos you see
Aye,
of
I
him.
like
yeah.
the story after the Derby game when he was left out. And Shearer was like, "I'm going to get in early and I'm going to speak to Ruud Gullit."
Mhm.
He says, "I got there mega early, and Big Dunk's already sitting there, you know." So,
Door hanging off the hinge.
Mhm.
Aye.
he's going to be a hard man, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
solid. I've gone with a one. I would have went with Andy Griffin now, as mentioned, but I'm going to go with Shearer.
Again, yep.
You know, probably he could probably be in a lot of our categories that we come up with in the Hall of Fame, but you know, come through injuries, play with cuts, bruises, punched. You know,
I think it's a bit like when you hear old old defenders, especially who's the hardest to play. Shearer's up there all the time because he used to give it out, but he used to get it back. You know, like the elbows, the bruises. You know,
and like when he was cruelly nutted by his foot,
Neil
was
Lennon's
nutted by
foot.
Neil
I mean,
Neil Lennon's feet. You know, like
Was it against Grimsby as well, where someone swung an elbow?
Oh,
and
yeah.
just, like claret all
Yeah,
over him.
the away game at Grimsby, and he
Was it that
kind of
lovely blue kit?
yes, that was a good.
That was a nice kit. That.
Yeah, like that game.
Well, was it not against the Mackhams? He had a bandage.
The
guaranteed
bandage,
against the
yeah,
Mackhams,
that's
you
what
know,
my
like,
memory of him
scored a
is.
free kick,
Mhm.
And then I think a couple of weeks later, we played Villa at home, and he still had the bandage on his head, but he actually wore a long shirt for the first time. He had a cast on his arm.
He had a cast.
You know, so
Oh, you wouldn't get maximum doing that.
he's
would
like,
you?
well,
He comes out.
how many bandages does Mackham wear?
Genuinely
Like,
go
what's
through
going
like
on?
half time. You'll see him, and he'll come out. He's literally like
in case his agent gets him a move last minute, and he has to get in a helicopter and go to high altitude. So
What's
he has
he
to have
going to do? Drop out like
no, it's the decompression trousers,
Yeah,
decompression socks, you know.
soft.
But with Shearer, like obviously, he had the run in with Roy Keane where he just sort of stood there, and Roy Keane was flapping his hand about, and he just sort of stood there, and he like sort of did that. He chewed his sort of thing, and he was like,
Did you not see what he had? He said, I think, was it Keane threw the ball at him? He went, "Oh, do you want us to sign that for you?"
But and I like how he plays that down. Like the amount of times he's talked about, he said, "Oh, I shook everybody's hand before I went off the pitch, and I knew Roy Keane was
on the top being held back."
But no, like he was just 100% hide himself in for any ball, any tackle, and he like you say, he would come off cuts, bruises, and he would just plow through players, you know. When I was chatting with Mark about my favourite goals, I think I was chatting to you about one of my favourite goals this year as where I played Bolton. It was a very nondescript goal. It was a cross come in, but he just piled through two centre halves and a bullet header in, and like he hid himself in, and that was kind of my reasoning behind picking him as the hard man. So those are our picks. So we've got Czech Tiote, we've got Mitrovic, we've got Ferguson, and I've gone with Shearer. So that's
a tough pick, that mind.
I think it's a tough pick. So we'll put a poll on Toon Polls, who now follows us. So I'm very pleased with myself.
Look at you.
I was very, very pleased with myself. So we'll put a poll on Toon Polls, and please we'll put on for the next couple hours, or maybe it's the next couple of days, and you can have your vote, what you think of our selections, and then of course underneath, give us your suggestions. Who would be maybe your top 3 hard men? Do we have a hard man sort of playing for new? Who would you say as well? What hardest player?
Richie,
is it somebody who sort of like strikes fear in everybody else? He's a little...
now that you've said that,
I think that's what we miss.
We
honestly do. We miss a player like that. You know, there's nobody who you.
Do we have many hard men in the game nowadays? Is it? You know,
I think they're a dying breed.
Yeah,
sadly,
it's a shame. With the advent of.
Because I don't think you can. Well, that's what I was just about to say. I don't think you can now with the refs. And imagine the Ferguson incident. Raz just said,
You'd have been in the joke.
I think the whole man thing is sort of. I
think it is. I think those players now, you've got just solid players, you know, who, because I mean, tacklings are dying. Tacklings are dying out, you know.
Well, that's it. It's becoming like netball, isn't it? So,
basically, same. They're just all soft shite.
If you had to pick a harder player, I'm trying to think of the hard, like Hayden. Maybe he likes to tackle. He likes to high one in.
But then I get that. But then the ambiguity is coming in because no one's scared of him though. But that's true. You said instill fear. Oh shit! Yeah, like your Keens, your Shearers. Yeah.
Fernandez, maybe.
Yeah, Fernandez, little Argentinian, little sneaky sort of things maybe he's going on.
Plus, he just looks a bit mean.
Yeah, he does look a bit mean.
Especially when he's got that goatee.
Yeah, he does look a bit mean. Mickey, yeah. Two stone wet through, aye. Maybe he's like pick Mickey up and hit it with him. Maybe I don't know, you know.
Play golf with him.
Aye. Joe Linton? No, I don't think. No, we haven't got a hard man, have we?
No,
I think
we haven't.
That's gone new. I think that those days are gone. El Grande Salmon said John Joe has the odd touch of lunacy about him. I would agree with that, but I think that's more of his intelligence level rather than being a hard man. I would say. So, like I said, we'll put it on Toon Polls, and you can have a go, and you can either rate or slate our opinions and our choices for our ExtraTyne hard men. So, I think that brings us to an end.
Cool.
And big game Tuesday. Where we're watching it?
I'll be watching it in the house with a Ben. Actually, aye.
We get Toon flags will be used.
Not if Wallace is watching. No.
No. Aye.
Aye.
Few little stubbies and that, you know.
Feel like that. Well, she's got school the following morning, so she'll only have a couple. Shots you're not doing. Shots
It's a Wednesday, man. What happens on a Wednesday? You know what I mean? Like the hump of the week. It'll help her get over it. You know, if she comes in hanging.
Yeah, I am.
She'll just be like,
she'll have a hip flask.
She'll be like, Miss,
Divot, man, right?
I was watching the two last
nights. Watch match of the day and I'll, man, Divot.
Yeah.
No, I'll be watching the house.
Jamie and Laura.
Be there.
Be there.
Yeah.
We'll try and find a legal stream.
Yeah, obviously, legal stream. We'll be in the Gallowgate end.
Yeah.
Praying, hoping for a victory. Hopefully, I think the war flags look like they've done a little Bruno flag as well. I saw a little preview of that, a little green and gold number. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of colour in the Gallowgate end there for Bruno Guimaraes.
Well done.
Well done.
Bruno G, we'll call him. 90s.
Bruno.
BG. As ever, like, subscribe and follow to the channel of Gallowgateshots on YouTube. And keep an eye out for all the content that's coming your way. We'll have the extra time with Shade, and obviously the lads will pick apart the game. They'll probably do an instant reaction straight after the game, or probably a couple hours after, and that's usually great to watch. And obviously we'll be back Friday, Thursday. We'll try and go for Friday. We'll see how we get on. We might even get back in the studio again. You never know. But Ian, Laura, Raza, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. And everybody watching live, thank you to those people for watching live. Thank you to Mark as well at the very start.
Yes.
Legend.
Mark did a really good job to help us get set up. I'm going to have to leave the seat in a minute and go over there because I don't know how to shut the thing off from my phone. So a bit of professionalism all around again, as usual. I'll probably trip over something on the way. I haven't spilled anything today, though.
No,
so, you know, like, and my drink's finished.
Tempted fate now, though, haven't you?
So I'm like looking at this. Like,
do like a little.
The mannequin's going.
Should I move in? I'll move in.
Everything's gone.
But everybody.
Yeah, so like and subscribe, share with a friend, tell somebody who you dog walk with. Yeah, come and watch Gallowgate. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I like dogging.
That's what I thought he was on about.
Who your dog walk with? Who you
right.
Is this what was on your Jolly Roger?
Best dog and spots. Somebody did actually go in the comments and did say.
I never believe you.
They did. No, if I find it, no, I'm not going to make you watch the scroll. But somebody did. If you go back in the comments, somebody did say the Jolly Rogers Coop was a real thing. So there you go. And by the way, Laura hates saying pass it on. That's what Mark says.
So does Mark. Pass it on.
But thank you to all those people for watching. We've got El Grande Salmon. We've got Freddie Costanzano. We've got Tom.
What a name.
Mate.
Phenomenal.
You've added a few letters in there.
David.
Real name is Keith or something.
He's called Dave Smith from Bencham.
Jeff, Alex,
Smith,
a few new members as well have joined as well, so that's great. So thank you very much. I think Chris is actually going to sort the end out for me. So I don't have to leave the seat. Amazing. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chris, for watching as well.
Just been the last comment there. This is the best GS show, by the way. So
yes.
Cheers, Mum. Thank you.
Is your mum on the internet? Like, is she on the dial-up again?
Aye. My father's like, hurry up.
I'm trying to ring the
book a holiday with teletext, yeah.
So, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Everybody wave until Chris tells us it's finished.
All right, lads.
See you later, everybody.